defensive play. Good defense leads to good offense. In Bledsoe's case, good defense led to that three-point shot that he was able to knock down also.
Yeah, when you look at this Raptors team right now, Zeke, man, they are just struggling now, man. You watch them, you watch how confident that this Pelicans team is playing with Bledsoe, Lonzo Ball in the backcourt. And Zeke, what people are not thinking about, Stan's an excellent defensive coach, and you have two guards now in the backcourt that can play defense. Lonzo Ball is an excellent defender with his size, and Eric Bledsoe, we know how good a defender he is. So when you look at this Pelicans team, they got the defense in the backcourt. They got a big guy in the back, Steven Adams, that can rim protect. Now they just got to get Ingram and Zion Williamson to pick up their defense. We know they can score the ball. So if they start playing a little bit better defense and their offense continue to develop and grow, New Orleans can make some noise in the West.
Stan Van Gundy has always had highly ranked defensive teams. They'll get immediately better on that end of the floor, and then it's a matter of the spacing issues we talked about earlier offensively for the Pelicans. And if Bledsoe knocks down shots like that, you know, on a regular basis, he doesn't have to be a super high percentage three-point shooter. If he can knock him down when he's wide open, that changes things for them.
Yeah, and the thing for this Pelican team, they just can't rely on threes. They got to score in a lot of different ways. But you talking about Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. Those two guys can get to the basket. They can score in a lot of different ways. You got J.J. Redick who can still shoot the eyes out. But if Lonzo and Eric Bledsoe can shoot around that 33 to 36%, just keep it average and keep teams honest, this team can be explosive because they can put the ball in the basket, their defense is picked up, and they got a guy in Zion Williamson that can be unstoppable at times.
Zeke, Zion didn't even have a shot in the first quarter. He had only taken, I think, 6 at the half. He had 6 points. He finishes with 21 and 7 boards on the night. What continues to impress me about him is that the Pelicans, be it Alvin Gentry or Stan Van Gundy, don't necessarily have to run a bunch of stuff for him to wind up having productive nights.
No, he's a great scorer. And, you know, there are a lot of guys who have come into our league who need the ball pointed to them so they can score. And then there are guys who come into our league who just know how to score. And, you know, I'm going to throw a name out there that most people may not, you know, put with Zion because of the difference in athleticism. But Cedric Ceballos was a guy that just knew how to score. He would find different ways to score the basketball around the basket. He didn't have the athleticism or the wow factor that Zion has, but you can put him in any situation and he would score the basketball. What Zion has done is figured out how to score in this league, but also figured out how to be a great passer and a facilitator. He doesn't force things. So that first half, we saw Zion drawing a lot of attention and also being capable of passing the ball, spreading it out so other people can score. And then at the end of the game, he found a way to put his mark and his stamp on the game for 2-3 minutes, get in scoring positions, and score the basketball. And when I say Ceballos, I mean, like, again, I'm just talking about as a scorer who knows how to score, not necessarily comparing them in terms of athleticism and athletes.
As an interesting comparison, as a coach, what kind of a luxury is it to have somebody who finds ways to score, whether you're running plays for him or not?
Well, that's the best type of player you want right there because you have so many guys on your roster that you have to run sets for to get them going. But when you look at Zion, his ability to score, and this is the thing that's amazing, Matt. He's not making jump shots yet.
Right.
Wait until he starts making jump shots and get comfortable taking those jump shots. But when he gets his head down and get down here, going to the basket, he's unstoppable because it's not that he's overly big as far as height,
right,
but he uses his body and he creates so much contact and he's so strong that he can bounce off guys and still finish. The one thing, once he gets a 17-foot jump shot down and he's comfortable, because he can shoot, he's just not comfortable right now. But once that comes to fruition, it's going to be lights out.
And he's so decisive. When he gets the ball in his hands, he doesn't mess around. He's going to make a move very quickly. There's usually some kind of a spin involved, and he's going to knock somebody off their position and finish at the rim.
Have you noticed guys kind of get out the way when he starts spinning? Guys are trying to take charges, but they're moving a little bit because they don't want to take the full force of it.
Pelicans get the win 120-116. Eric Bledsoe with the tie-breaking 3 late, and here he was after the game.
Just stay solid, stay solid and help my teammates out as much as I can. And I just came up with a great defensive play, being in the right place at the right time.
Eric, how much does your aggressiveness and Brandon Ingram's aggressiveness tonight open up everything on the offensive side of the floor for y'all?
It means a lot, man. Everybody got to stay aggressive out there, not just me. We got Zion, Zoe's been tremendously, unbelievable, start of the season, and we need to continue to keep that up. But, it takes a lot of pressure off everybody.
Eric, congratulations. Go enjoy this win and fantastic performance tonight.
Thank you.
They sweep the season series with the Raptors, just 1-4 on the young season. And Sam, obviously you coach the Raptors. You guys are both associated with the Raptors. You coach the Raptors and you do TV work for the Raptors as well. What have you seen so far that concerns you moving forward with this team?
Well, they've lost a lot of people. When you lose Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol and then, Kawhi Leonard, that's a lot of talent walking out the door. And they're trying to find themselves right now. And I think right now, Matt, this team is, look, they're studying analytics too much. They're taking way too many threes. And it's not the three-point shots, it's who's taking them. They're struggling shooting the ball from the field. The defense is struggling. You saw tonight, what got them back into the game was playing some zone. Nick Nurse went to a matchup zone, and it took the Pelicans a while to figure it out. But they're not executing. And then Pascal Siakam, the guy that's supposed to be the franchise player, he struggled in the bubble, and now he's struggled thus far to start the season. Look at this right here. This is when you know a guy is struggling and indecisive. Pascal Siakam has a guard on him, a little guard on him in the paint, and he kicks it out for a three, Lonzo Ball. And then he comes back right here, makes a good move on Brandon Ingram for the left-handed jump hook. Again, he's trying to pass it off in the paint to Aaron Baines, which is a turnover. Again, look at the post-up position on Lonzo Ball. Early rim run. This should be a left-handed jump hook going into the basket. Again, being indecisive, no confidence, trying to drop it off to Baines. Another turnover. He's just struggling. And here, sets a good screen right here, gets into the paint, loses his balance. Again, Matt, he is just struggling. He's getting to the right spots, but his game hadn't matured enough in the paint for him to take advantage of it. And what teams are doing now, they're allowing him to shoot those threes because he's shooting it bad. And Matt, anytime as a forward, you're shooting more threes than free throws and you're Pascal Siakam, that's a problem.
Absolutely. He's shooting under 40% for the young season so far, Zeke, averaging more than 3 turnovers a game so far. Also sat out the other day because of a disciplinary issue. Nick Nurse apparently sat him down. They didn't want to say a lot about it, but it came on the heels of him walking off the floor before the end of a game in Philadelphia or against Philadelphia after he'd fouled out. What is this all about, do you think, Zeke? I know you can't get into his head, but what is going on with Pascal Siakam on the floor?
I'm not sure, Matt. You referenced something earlier in the show when you talked about his struggles in the bubble last year in Orlando. And it seems that's kind of carried over into this year in terms of his confidence or in terms of the style of play that he wants to play. But it definitely seems that something is amiss here in terms of him and the Raptors in this early season. However, we do know that he's capable of getting it together. We do know that Nurse is a great coach. So they'll find a way to get his confidence back and to get him more integrated into the Raptors offense. But right now, it seems that what was happening in Orlando has continued into the early start of this season. And hopefully they can rectify that pretty quickly.
You're talking about a guy who was second team.
Game Time brought to you by the all-new Kia Sorento, the world's first storytelling machine.
Hawks are off to their best 5-game start in 5 seasons. Welcome the Cleveland Cavaliers into town on Saturday. DeAndre Hunter.
Think Cleveland going to get back on defense, Matt?
Eventually.
DeAndre Hunter's been playing well.
Right at Drummond. Big game hunting there. Trae Young with the steal. Watch it from the knees. Cam Reddish on the other end. Touchdown Hawks. Young to Clint Capella on the alley-oop. Capella had 16 points and 16 boards. Hawks up by a dozen at the half. Fourth quarter, Zeke, here come your Cleveland Cavaliers.
I like the way the Cavs are playing. Matt, I told you, I spoke to them earlier in the season, particularly this backcourt. When they get hot and they get to rolling, they are competitive, they compete, they rebound the basketball. And this is a very underrated basketball team right now, this Cavs team. And their togetherness is pretty impressive in this early part of the season.
Colin Sexton with the big go-ahead three late. He had 27 on the night, and the Cavaliers are off to a 4-2 start. Break them up. The Orlando Magic started out 4-0, blown out by Philadelphia in Game 5, game number 6. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder on the parquet in Orlando. Markelle Fultz, hesitation, just 5 of 16 on the night. Nikola Vucevic continues to put up numbers.
Yeah, he's rolling, man. I mean, he's knocking down the jumper, he's scoring in the paint, and then from that trailer spot, he's knocking down threes.
He hit 30 and 13. This is not a great Orlando offensive team. That's been a problem the last few years. There's a problem in this game as well, ultimately, as you see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander banking home the runner. 1-point game at half. Thunder pull away in the fourth, swinging it. Darius Bazley for 3. Al Horford to Bazley, who went for 19.
Yeah, that middle was wide open.
And then SGA and 1. 16 points, 5 boards, 7 assists for him. Horford, the fake, the fire. He went for 12.
Triple threat Al.
Oklahoma City gets the win. So Orlando, after the best start in franchise history, has now lost 2 in a row. Over their last 2 games, I mentioned the offensive struggles. 17 of 66 from three-point range.
Yeah, they got to get their defense back on track because we know they struggle offensively.
I checked with the Ohio Sports Bureau, and that's not good. Knicks and the Indiana Pacers on Saturday. Victor Oladipo and his Pacers have a good vibe about them. Oladipo to Malcolm Brogdon, who had 17 in the first quarter. 6 of 6 from the field. Brogdon feeling it. Went for 33 on the night. Zeke, here come the Knicks.
You know, I like the way the Knicks are playing, Matt. They're very competitive. They're getting their defensive schemes down. They're understanding what they can and can't do. And, you know, this is a team that goes out and competes on the defensive end. And when you have a defensive identity, that's going to give you a chance to win every single night because offense, as we know, comes and goes. But if defense is your mainstay, then you got a chance to win every night.
Victor Oladipo gave the Pacers a lead late with Julius Randle to Austin Rivers. 10 of his 15 in the fourth quarter. Randle with the steal. He's putting up some numbers. 12, 11, 8 assists, and then Mitchell Robinson the block on one end. On the other end, Elfrid Payton to Rivers. It's a 9-0 Knicks run. And New York hangs on to win it, Sam, 106-102. The Knicks are a 500 team.
500 Knicks, 3-3, playing hard, playing well. And you're right, man. Julius Randle, he stuffs that stat sheet, don't he?
Every single night, it seems, and the Knicks have now won 3 of their last 4 games. Tom Thibodeau making things happen in the Big Apple. Hornets and the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers so far unbeaten with that guy in the lineup. That guy's not bad either. Tobias Harris throwing down.
Flashbacks.
Pack
LA
this
with Doc Rivers.
Biombo.
Big time move, man.
Embiid out at the three-point line. No, he's going to hit that shot instead.
Well, he's got a
James
little,
Harden move.
Yeah, he got a little guy, Terry Rozier, trying to guard him.
What is
so
that?
He's
He's waiting for contact and throwing up jumpers?
Absolutely.
Seth Curry's been a nice addition to the Sixers so far. Philadelphia up by 12 and on the run. It's Simmons up top and gets it back.
Yeah, Ben Simmons is doing a little bit of everything. He's leading the team defensively, and then when he gets out in transition with the ball, a lot of good things happen.
Sixers led by as many as 17 in this game. Terry Rozier putting up numbers for the Hornets. Rozier went for 35 on the night, but Embiid, 7 of 11, 19 and 14 boards for the big guy, and they remain unbeaten with him in the lineup now 5-0 when Joel Embiid plays this season. 127-112, the final count.